Back to our showbiz story of the day, of the year, perhaps. It has been revealed that the secret lover of Phillip Schofield was just 15 years old when they met at a theatre school where the former ITV presenter was giving a talk. ITV had denied they had any evidence of such relationship between Schofield and a, in quotes, much younger staff member when it first investigated then what was a rumour in 2020. Now, an industry insider has suggested to us that this morning could be axed altogether. So with me to discuss this, bring us up to date, get her hot take, showbiz commentator Sarah-Louise Robertson joins me now. Sarah-Louise, thank you very much indeed. Now, there are so many questions to be asked, but what I'm interested in has there been a massive cover-up?
Well, this is what people are asking, Emily. This is what, as journalists, are trying to find out, because this really does stink of a cover-up. I've been speaking to some former employees at the show who have been relaying to me that there has been a bit of a toxic culture going on from behind the scenes. That's obviously people's viewpoints, but ITV have come back fighting from this. They're denying that anything has been going on. They claim that they put these allegations, which they at the time called just malicious rumours, to Phillip, and Phillip, as we now know, lied, and they're saying that he told them categorically it was untrue, and that the runner in question, who Phillip was having a relationship with, also denied it. However, there are questions about this, because a point that hasn't been picked up yet is that that runner, who Phillip was in a relationship with, as we know now, was also working for Phillip over at Dancing on Ice, which Holly Willoughby presents with Phillip as well. So he was working across both shows, so it wasn't just this morning. That in itself should raise questions as to why was he being promoted? Why was he coming on stage, a junior member of staff, at the National Television Awards when they won an award back in 2018, and was on stage with all the main presenters and This Morning talent team? That, and people haven't pointed this out yet, but that in itself raises questions.
Yes.
Martin Frizzell, the head of This Morning, he was on that stage as well. He would have seen him. Surely he would have been saying, why is a junior member of staff stood up on stage behind Phillip and Holly and with Ruth Lansford as well? There's just so much going on that we are not being told. And the public aren't stupid. They're asking questions as well and saying, look, come on, all these people must have known. You can't hide something like this when it's going on behind the scenes.
No,
This Morning prides itself in a family. You know, Holly and Phil were socialising off screen, going on holidays, having barbecues at each other's houses, putting pictures up on their Instagram of them in hot tubs together. Come on, you're telling me that you don't know something like this? It just doesn't sit right. And Nadine Dorries, the former culture secretary, she's come out today and said there needs to be a probe and an investigation.
Goodness me.
There you go. So this is not going to go away.
So politicians are getting involved in this now. They've been asked their view and they're very much giving it. Sarah-Louise, just very quickly, I've seen a few commentators saying this on Twitter and on social media who happen to be gay themselves, saying that the coming out story, we all saw it, he was on the sofa, he came out, everyone, there was lots of thunderous support for him and it was all gushing, oh, Phil, it's so great, you're coming out as gay after all these years, blah, 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 blah. Could it be said that that was a bit of a distraction from the fact that he had this inappropriate relationship with this young man?
Well, it's starting to look like that, isn't it, Emily? Because at the time, people were saying, well, it's not a big deal. Why is he having to do this big coming out? What suddenly prompted it? There was questions being asked. And the public aren't stupid. They were asking those questions as well. They were saying, this is not, you know, we're in 2020 now. No one cares if you're gay or not. It's not a big deal. It's not an issue. Why are we having to have this fanfare and everyone coming out saying, oh, you're so brave and what have you? So that in itself was raising questions about, is there more to this than meets the eye? Is there something that we're not being told yet, that he's having to do this? And of course, this in itself prompts rumours and unsubstantiated allegations. But this has been going on, as we know, since that time. And your colleague Dan Wootton, he's come out himself and said that he put the questions to ITV back in 2019, and they were denied categorically by the channel. So this is 4 years. 4 years this has been happening. And I think they thought that they brushed it under the carpet when Phil left the show, when it was coming out that Phil and Holly weren't getting on very well and things weren't right between them. And now we are where we are today.
I mean, ITV... Sarah-Louise, ITV must be, well, the management must be in a state of disarray. They must be bricking it, frankly. I said that at the top of the show, but I think it must be true. It must be absolute chaos. Thank you very much indeed, Sarah-Louise, taking us through there. Sarah-Louise Robertson, showbiz commentator. What drama